Hi, Professor. We are Group 43. This is our report of analyzing coffee distribution across 94 countries. And these are our group members. Our dataset is about coffee distribution in 94 countries and was generated by USDA. The dataset covers the production, supplies, and distribution of green coffee. It covers data from 94 countries from 1960 to 2023, using the unit of measurement of every 100 bags weighing 60 kilograms. We will visualize and explore the dataset by using some questions in different aspects. As we all know, coffee is a very important agriculture commodity in the world. So it's necessary for us to study the input, output, production, and so on about the coffee. And the coffee produced in about 80 tropical countries and supports 125 million peoples, mainly in Latin America, Africa, and Asia, with an annual production of 9 million tons of green beans. And the economically important species are the Arabica and Robusta coffee. And the coffee has contributed billions of billions of dollars to the global economy. And these are all the questions we want to solve according to our data. Our first question is from 2000 to 2023, among all the types of coffee, in what form of coffee is mainly imported and exported? Beans, roast, and ground or solo coffee. The first pie chart shows the population of import of coffee. As we can see, the important form of beans account for the vast majority, which is 86.93%, followed by the form of roast and ground coffee, account for 10.72%. The last one is soluble coffee, only account for 2.35%. The second pie chart shows the population of export of coffee. Import and export are basically corresponding. The bean export is account for the vast population, which is 86.09%. The solo coffee export account for 11.29%, and the roast and ground coffee export account for 2.62%. The card shows the sum value of import and export of bean, solo coffee, and roast and ground coffee, respectively. The line chart shows from 2000 to 2023 among 94 countries, all the forms of coffee import and export value are in a uptrend, and the import and export value of beans are the highest, followed by the solid coffee, and the last one is roast and ground coffee.
Hello everyone, today I'll briefly talk about global coffee consumption. In North America, the United States dominates coffee consumption because of strong coffee culture and a large population. In South America, Brazil not only leads in coffee production but also in consumption. The map shows a dense bubble of coffee consumption in Europe, with the highest level of coffee consumption in the European Union, reflecting the coffee tradition. In Asia, Japan is an important coffee consumer, indicating the growing popularity of coffee in Japan. By contrast, the bubble in Africa is smaller, probably because domestic consumption is low. From the pie chart, the results are consistent with what the map shows. Following the initial review, let's delve deeper into specific consumption statistics as shown in the bar chart. The European Union leads domestic coffee consumption with 0.93 million units, but Brazil ranks second with 0.81 million units, showing its role just as a top producer, but also a significant consumer. The United States holds the third position with 0.53 million units, reflecting its robust coffee culture. Japan, although smaller, shows a notable consumption of 0.16 million units. This figure aligns with bubble map data, underlining established coffee cultures and emerging markets. Understanding these trends adds enterprise in promoting coffee consumption and exploring new markets effectively. The next question is top 3 exporters and importers in the world. Brazil, Colombia, and Vietnam are among the world's largest coffee exporters, and Brazil, the world's largest coffee producer and exporter, has been known for its large-scale coffee plantations and efficient production technology, and have a significant impact on the supply and price of coffee in the global market. Its stable supply chain and high-quality coffee beans have attracted buyers from different countries around the world. Colombia is known for its high-quality coffee beans and has gained international recognition through branding and marketing. Vietnam mainly grows coffee beans, which are widely used in the production of instant and blended coffee, meeting the global market demand for diversified coffee products. The EU is the world's largest consumer of coffee, and the huge demand for coffee in the EU drives the global coffee trend. American coffee chains are ubiquitous, and coffee brands and coffee culture has a broad impact on the global coffee market. Japan has a unique coffee culture, from traditional tea house to modern coffee chains, and coffee consumption trends in Japan has also had impact on other Asian countries. By analyzing the top 3 regions or countries of import and export, we can not only understand the current situation of global coffee trend, but also provide insight into the future development trend. It has promoted diversification and innovation in the global coffee trend.
Hello everyone, it's my turn to illustrate the distribution characteristics of coffee bean supply in each continent. From the graphs we can see, in South America, the largest coffee supply region, accounting for 39.9% of the total. Brazil is the main supplier, and followed by Colombia and Peru. Secondly, Asia accounts for 17.55% of the total supply. Major suppliers are Vietnam, Indonesia, and India. Thirdly, North America accounts for 16.18% of the total supply. The main suppliers are the United States, Mexico, and Guatemala. Fourthly, Africa accounts for more than 30% of the total supply. Key suppliers are Ethiopia, Cote d'Ivoire, and Uganda. Fifthly, Europe accounts for 12.38% of the total supply. Leading suppliers are the European Union, Russia, and Switzerland. Finally, Oceania accounts for 0.73% of the total supply, with major suppliers being Papua New Guinea, Australia, and New Zealand. Overall, Brazil is the largest individual supplier. Higher supply regions are near the equator, and the European Union and the United States rely heavily on imports, while Brazil made its own depend and exports coffee. For the next question, we'll discuss the factors that affect the price of coffee beans, and there I have 5 factors as follows. The first is production. It includes Arabica production, Robusta production, and other production. The second is consumption. It mentions domestic consumption of roasted and ground coffee, domestic consumption of instant coffee, and overall domestic consumption. And then the third is exports and imports. They both have grown steadily since 1960s, especially after 2000 year. And the fourth is total supply. The total coffee supply has significantly increased since 2000, driven by higher production and export volumes, indicating a well-supplied global coffee market. Finally, the fifth is starting stocks and ending stocks. Inventory levels vary due to market demand and supply changes. There are also some comprehensive influencing factors. Firstly, is fluctuations in market demand. The changes in market demand directly impact the coffee beans price, leading to reduced inventory during high demand and increased inventory during low demand. Secondly, its production cycle and weather conditions. Coffee as an agricultural product is significantly influenced by weather and climate variations. Alterations in production cycles and weather conditions affect the supply and pricing of coffee beans. Thirdly, its inventory management strategies. The inventory management strategies employed by producing and consuming countries can influence market supply and price stability. Fourthly, its climate change. Extreme weather events such as droughts and floods can have a severe impact on coffee production and quality, thereby affecting prices. Fifthly, its economic factors. Global economic conditions and consumer purchasing power directly influence coffee's consumption, which typically rises with economic. All in all, these factors work together to determine the dynamic changes in the global coffee market.
Hi there, I'm Sabrina, and I'll be presenting two of our research questions. Firstly, have coffee production been adjusted to its inflation? Okay, so authors Rexford Abaidu and Elvis Agapong, in their paper on inflation uncertainty for commodity prices, explains inflation as a representative on how much more expensive the relevant set of goods and or services has become over a certain period, most commonly measured within a year. They go on to talk about the effect of the Great Inflation, which occurred from 1962 to 1982, which coincidentally is also part of our dataset. From the area chart graph that we have generated, it is evident that during the Great Inflation, the sum of total production of coffee beans were mostly low but reached its peak in 1981, a year before the stagflation ended. However, the rate of distribution was only 76% in that year. In fact, throughout the period of the stagflation, production ranged between 40 to 77% of total distribution worldwide. Hence, we conclude that production is adjusted towards inflation. Since the 2000s, though, especially when comparing from 2001 to 2002, there has been a staggering decrease in percentage of coffee beans production worldwide, which is in line with issues of climate change that has been particularly rough in these last 2 decades, leading to decreasing yields and increase of vulnerability in coffee crops. Hence, this is where you will see, or this is why you'll only see certain countries producing more coffee beans and exporting it to the rest of the world, which is related to my next discussion. Hence, this conclusion further solidifies our argument that production is adjusted towards inflation. The next question I'll be answering is, will the Arabica coffee production still be dominated by Brazil in the future? A little fun fact, coffee Arabica is native to Ethiopia actually, where the major genetic diversity of the species is found. However, it was believed by historians that coffee seeds were taken from the coffee forests of southwestern Ethiopia to Yemen, and consequently to other parts of the world where it continues to thrive, especially in Latin and Central America. Hence why Brazil is the main producer of the Arabica beans in today's world. The more you know. Anywho, moving on. Our research further solidifies the fact that the beans grow well in countries in the Americas region and it's native in East Africa. Brazil's near perfect climate for Arabica coffee cultivation, with its consistent temperatures, moderate elevations, and copious amounts of seasonal rainfall, are also reasons as to why the premium coffee plants flourish when grown in the mountainous areas of the nation. From the dataset, we know that while Brazil is and will admittedly continue to dominate the Arabica market production, there has been evidence of it being overtaken by Colombia, as illustrated in the line and stacked column graph in the years 1976 and 1986, albeit by a small margin. The distribution rate of the Arabica beans are also higher compared to other types of beans, such as the Robusta, Liberica, and Excelsa beans. Authors Mark Holmes and Jesus Otero touched about this in their article discussing the difference between Arabica and Robusta beans, where they explain that consumers worldwide generally prefer the former over the latter because the taste is believed to be more finer, enticing in general. Ethiopian Arabica beans, on the other hand, is slightly more acidic, sweeter, and has a berry aftertaste as compared to their Brazilian counterpart. Coffee aficionados would appreciate a varied profile like this one. Hence, we would like to reaffirm our belief that Brazil will continue to dominate the Arabica coffee production in the future, but reckon that Ethiopia could give the nation a run for its money simply because of the reemergence of the cafe hopping trend, which could birth more coffee enthusiasts. Now I'd like to pass the floor to my next teammate to explain our very last question. Thank you.
Hello, doctor. My name is Zhang Chaoze. Let me introduce the question 8. What are Malaysia's coffee production and supply trends in the next 10 years? Through a time series analysis of coffee production and supply in Malaysia, our analysis shows a significant upward trend in production, with expected levels reaching between 3,149 and 4,138 kg per year by 2033. However, this growth isn't without its challenges, as we anticipate a potential drop to as low as 1,000 461 kilogram per year due to various factors including agriculture and economic challenges. Simultaneously, supply chains mirror these production numbers, peaking around 2024 before facing a decline. Despite a potential production decrease, supply levels are forecast to be more stable, ranging between 3,283 and 4,965 kilograms per year by 2033. This resilience in supply can be attributed to strategic stockpiling and imports, ensuring market stability. In summary, while we anticipate a peak in the coming years, the coffee industry in Malaysia must prepare for the ebbs and flows dictated by both internal and external pressures. In our comprehensive analysis of the global coffee trade, we've identified several key strategies to foster growth and sustainability in the coffee industry. First, there is a clear need to prioritize and expand the coffee bean market, leveraging Brazil's robust export capabilities and integrating emerging markets like Colombia and Vietnam into our supply chain to enhance stability and reduce risk. Moreover, diversifying our supply source and focusing on sustainability are paramount. We must promote eco-friendly farming practice and adhere to stringent quality and sustainability standards to not only meet but exceed global expectations. Lastly, the evolving consumer performance, especially toward high quality and organic products, urge us to adapt our market strategies and increase our focus on the instant coffee segment, which shows the growing demand by aligning our strategies with these consumer trends and enhancing our international cooperation. We can ensure the coffee industry's robust global presence and continue economic impact. In this report, our research based on data from 94 countries shows the significant economic impact and socio-economic importance of the global coffee industry. We provide a comprehensive analysis of the global coffee trade, exploring the complex production, supply, and distribution network that span countries and highlighting the role and impact of individual countries in this global industry. The analysis shows that major exporters such as Brazil, Vietnam, and Colombia largely determine global supply, while the major importers such as the European Union, the United States, and Japan drive demands. The coffee industry is at a critical juncture facing environmental challenging exacerbated by climate change. To navigate this, we must commit to sustainable production practice, improve agricultural techniques, and enhance the quality of production and through rigorous certifications and standards. Our strategic proposals aim to optimize the global coffee supply chain, diversifying markets, and foster international cooperation to tackle the complexity of the global market. The future of coffee hinges on our ability to adapt to changing consumers' demands, embracing sustainable practices, and continuously innovate. Thank you.